Alright NBA fans, here's a story that's heating up fast. The league is once again cracking down on teams suspected of violating the player participation policy. And this time, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Philadelphia 76ers are in the spotlight. Now let's talk about what's going down. With just about a month left in the season, we're seeing a handful of teams more focused on their lottery odds than actually winning games. It's not exactly a secret. Some franchises are subtly, that is, or not so subtly, tanking to get their hands on the next big draft prospect, Cooper Flagg. The NBA, however, is not having it. They already fined the Utah Jazz $100,000 for resting Lauri Markkanen under questionable circumstances, and now, the Thunder and Sixers are under scrutiny. First, let's break down OKC's situation. They're not a tanking team. In fact, they're dominating the Western Conference with a 54-12 record. But on March 7th, they decided to sit 6 key players, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Cason Wallace, during a home game against the Portland Trail Blazers. Despite resting nearly half their roster, the Thunder still managed to pull off a win. But the league wasn't thrilled. Only 2 of those players, that is SGA and Williams, officially qualify as stars under the league's policy. But benching 6 key guys in one night definitely raised some eyebrows. Some people are calling the investigation ridiculous, pointing out that the Thunder were in the middle of a brutal post-All-Star break schedule. It wasn't a national TV game, and some of these players had legitimate minor issues. So was this really a violation? That's up for debate. Now switching over to the Philadelphia 76ers. The NBA is reportedly looking into the recent absences of Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. George has been dealing with knee, back, and finger injuries, while Maxey has had back and finger issues as well. Given that the Sixers season is essentially over, it makes sense that they're being extra cautious with their stars. Plus, Joel Embiid is already out for the season as he recovers from knee treatment, so it wouldn't be shocking if George and Maxey also remained on the sidelines. But here's where things get tricky. The Sixers have some serious motivation to tank. Their first-round pick this year is owned by Oklahoma City. But it's top 6 protected, meaning, if they land in the top 6, they get to keep it. Right now, they're tied with the Nets for the 5th/6th worst record. And if they manage to hold on to that spot, they have a 62.1% chance of keeping their pick. That's a big deal. So are they resting players purely for injury reasons, or are they trying to secure their draft position? The NBA wants answers. The league's fines for violating the player participation policy aren't exactly pocket change, but they're also not crippling. The first offense results in a $100,000 fine, which is manageable for most teams. But a second violation jumps to $250,000, and a third is a whopping $1 million. Philly has already been fined once this season, so another hit would cost them $250,000. Not exactly something they'd want to keep stacking up. At the end of the day, this whole situation is a delicate dance. Teams want to manage their players' health and maximize their future draft potential, while the NBA wants to maintain the integrity of the game. With teams like Toronto, that is, who have Scotty Barnes, a star under the league's policy, also navigating this landscape, it'll be interesting to see how franchises handle player availability in the final stretch of the season. So, what do you think? Is the NBA being too harsh, or are teams playing the system? One thing's for sure, this investigation is going to keep the league on its toes. Stay subscribed for more videos.